Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're not just scratching the surface of the media we consume. We are grabbing a shovel and digging all the way to the bottom, literally.
Right to the bottom.
Yeah, we are pulling apart an hour of television that is relentless, uncomfortable, and, frankly, a masterpiece of tension. We are looking at Breaking Bad, Season 2, Episode 4, and the title is simply, Down.
Down. It is such a sparse, monosyllabic title, isn't it? It feels heavy just saying it.
It really does.
But when you look at the source material we've gathered, the production notes, the plot summaries, the critical reception, it's really the only word that fits. It serves as this literal descriptor for where the characters physically go in this hour.
Right, like falling through floors.
Exactly. Falling through floors, being kicked to the curb. But it is also the trajectory of their souls in this 47-minute window.
Oh, absolutely. And look, if you're a fan of, explosions, gunfights, and the high-octane science experiments that Breaking Bad is famous for, this deep dive might actually surprise you a bit.
Yeah, it's a gear shift.
Because Down isn't about that adrenaline rush. It is about the hangover. It's the morning after the chaos. We're dealing with the immediate aftermath of the fugue state excuse from the previous episode.
That was bit by a dead bee, right?
Right. And we're watching the drug trade bleed right into the living room.
That context is vital for you, the listener, to keep in mind. We are coming off a really high-stress arc involving Tuco Salamanca.
Oh, man, the kidnappings, the shootouts.
Right. The audience is breathless at this point.
Yeah.
And usually a show gives you a breather after that kind of climax. But Down isn't a breather, it's a suffocation.
That's a great way to put it.
It connects the dots between the criminal act and the domestic consequence. This is a pivotal character study. It's less about the external threat of a cartel and more about the systematic dismantling of Jesse Pinkman's entire existence.
And the crumbling facade of Walter White's family dynamic. It is painful to watch, but so fascinating to analyze.
It really is.
So here is our mission for this deep dive. We are going to unpack how the writers strip Jesse of everything he owns. I mean, they really kick him while he's down.
They absolutely do.
We're going to look at how Walt tries and fails miserably to manufacture normalcy to keep Skyler happy. And we're going to pinpoint the specific breaking points for Skyler White, who is quietly having a crisis of her own.
And we have a lot of ground to cover, from the symbolism of a port-a-potty to the specific direction of John Dahl.
Okay, let's unpack this. Let's start with the people behind the camera, because the creative team here is really interesting and sets the specific mood for this misery. The episode was written by Sam Catlin.
Right. And Catlin is a key figure in the Breaking Bad writers' room. He is known for crafting these narratives of desperation.
Yeah.
He understands that the scariest thing isn't always a guy with a gun. Sometimes it is having nowhere to sleep. He excels at writing scenes that are emotionally excruciating, where the horror comes from social awkwardness and personal failure rather than violence.
But what is even more notable to me is the director, John Dahl.
John Dahl. Now here is a fascinating piece of trivia from our sources. This is the only episode of the entire Breaking Bad series that John Dahl directed. Just this one.
Really? That's wild, considering how memorable the visual style is here. Why is that significant?
It makes Down a unique artifact in the series run. Dahl has a background in neo-noir. We're talking about films like Red Rock West or The Last Seduction.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He knows how to shoot shadows. He knows how to shoot isolation. Noir is all about characters trapped by their circumstances, usually in grim, urban, or desolate settings.
That makes perfect sense for this.
And when we get to the scenes of Jesse on the street or Skyler alone in her car, you can feel that noir influence. It is oppressive. The shadows feel a bit longer. The isolation feels a bit colder.
It's interesting you mentioned that because this episode feels visually lonelier than others. Even when characters are together, they feel separated. And helping build that oppressive atmosphere, we have the usual heavy hitters on cinematography and editing, Michael Slovis and Kelly Dixon. They are the architects of this look, grounding Dahl's noir sensibilities in the established Albuquerque aesthetic.
They ensure the continuity is there, but Dahl brings that specific flavor of hopelessness.
Now, I want to talk about the soundscape for a second, because the music choices in this episode are, well, they're ironic. They are doing a lot of heavy lifting.
To say the least. The music supervision on Breaking Bad is legendary for a reason.
We have Into the Night by Benny Mardone. We have Let Your Love Flow by the Bellamy Brothers. And then, perhaps the most biting choice, It's Such a Pretty World Today by Nancy Sinatra.
That juxtaposition is classic Breaking Bad. You play It's Such a Pretty World Today, a song that is light, airy, optimistic over a sequence where a character's life is falling apart.
It creates this intense cognitive dissonance for the viewer.
It does. The world is pretty for everyone else, maybe. The sun is shining, people are going to work, birds are singing. But for Jesse and Walt, the world is closing in. It highlights the grim reality of the plot by pretending everything is sunny and bright.
It's almost mocking them. It's the universe saying, look how happy everyone else is while you are miserable.
Exactly. It isolates them further. If the music was dark and brooding, it would be melodramatic. But by making the music happy, the tragedy feels sharper.
So let's get into that grim reality. We have to talk about Jesse Pinkman. If this episode is called Down, Jesse is the one leading the charge to the bottom.
Absolutely. This is Jesse's rock bottom, or at least one of them. The writers essentially decided to play a game of how much can we take away from this kid in 45 minutes?
It starts with what we can call the inciting incident of his homelessness, the eviction. Jesse meets with his attorney and his parents. Now, usually when parents visit in a TV show, it's stressful, maybe some bickering, but this is a whole other level.
It is a legal intervention. The source material clarifies that his parents didn't just find a messy room or some drug paraphernalia. They found the meth lab in the basement.
That is the nuclear option.
It is. You can't talk your way out of a meth lab? The consequence is immediate eviction from his aunt's house, and the timeline is brutal. They tell him, legally, he has 72 hours.
But that's not what happens, right? I mean, 72 hours is 3 days. You can find a motel in 3 days. You can rent a U-Haul.
No. The reality hits harder. His mother arrives the very next morning with workmen. She isn't waiting for the 72 hours.
Wow.
She wants the cancer excised immediately. She wants him gone before he can dig in his heels.
Let's look at the confrontation between Jesse and his mother.
Yeah.
This scene is devastating.
Yes.
Jesse tries to bargain. He is scrambling.
He goes through the stages of grief in about 2 minutes. First, he tries the I can change plea. He plays the lost little boy. Mom, I'm turning it around. I'm doing better. He tries to access that part of her that remembers him as a child.
But she is walled off. She is looking at him like a stranger.
Because she has been burned before. And again, meth lab. The evidence contradicts his words, so when he realizes that wall is up, he pivots. He goes from begging to anger.
And this is where he makes a key argument, and I think this is one of the most interesting character beats for Jesse. He claims he earned that house.
Yes.
He says he was the one who took care of his cancer-stricken aunt. He was the one changing the sheets and dealing with the illness, while his mother, in his words, did nothing.
That is the emotional core of the scene. And we have to ask ourselves, is he telling the truth? Probably to an extent. We know Jesse has a capacity for caregiving.
Yeah, we see that later in the series.
He likely was the one there day to day.
Right. While the parents might have been dealing with the finances or the doctors, Jesse was holding her hand.
Exactly. So in his mind, he paid for the house with sweat equity and trauma. He feels morally entitled to it. But saying that to his mother, telling a mother she abandoned her dying sister, that is a weaponized guilt trip.
It's a nuclear strike.
And instead of making his mother back down, it pushes her over the edge. It leads to the physical breaking point. She slaps him.
That slap is the period at the end of the sentence.
It severs his last tie to legitimate stability. It is his mother saying, "You are no longer my son. You are a problem to be removed." It's a physical rejection that hurts more than the eviction notice.
So he is out. The workmen take his stuff to storage. He is left with almost nothing. And this is where the writers start to systematically remove every single resource Jesse has. It's like a survival game where the difficulty just ramped up to insane.
It is a study in social isolation. Jesse reaches out to friends. He calls people he thinks are his crew. Hey, can I crash? Hey, looking for a place for a night.
And the response is universal.
Rejection. Paul tells him his wife won't allow it. Others just say no. He discovers that his friendships were largely transactional. They liked him when he had money or drugs or a house to party in. Without those resources, he was officially a pariah.
And just when you think, okay, well, he still has his motorcycle, he can sleep on the bike or sell it for quick cash to get a motel room, the universe says, nope.
The theft scene, this is classic, kick him while he's down. Jesse is at a gas station, and we should note gas stations appear multiple times in this episode. There are transient spaces, places where you don't stay.
He's making a call at a payphone.
And while his back is turned, his motorcycle, his only remaining asset, gets stolen, along with his bag, along with his last possession.
It is relentless. Let's tally the score here. Shelter, gone. Transport, gone. Friends, gone. Property, gone.
The writers are stripping him naked, metaphorically. They are removing every layer of protection a human being has in modern society. He is now completely vulnerable to the elements and the world.
Which leads us to the visual low point of the episode. Maybe of this series so far for Jesse. The port-a-potty incident.
Oh, this is hard to watch. Jesse breaks into the storage lot where the RV, the crystal ship, is stored. It is his last refuge. It is technically home because it has a roof.
But the gate is locked. He can't drive it out yet. He just needs to get inside to sleep, so he climbs the fence.
He climbs over. And to get down, he steps on the roof of a port-a-potty.
And we all know physics. Plastic roofs are not designed for grown men.
The roof gives way, he falls through, and he is drenched in that blue chemical waste.
The blue fluid.
We have to pause on the symbolism here because it is not subtle, but it is powerful. He is literally drowning in blue waste. The blue representing the blue meth, the product that ruined his life. He is covered in the filth of his own industry.
It's like a baptism in reverse. A baptism in filth.
Precisely. It is the ultimate degradation. He is stained by his choices. Yeah. And the practical reality of it is horrifying. He is wet, he is freezing, and he smells like chemical sewage.
And the image of him afterwards, sleeping in the RV. He manages to get inside. But he is forced to wear a gas mask just to breathe because he smells so bad.
Just picture that image. He is in a safe space, the RV, wrapped in a blanket, but he has a gas mask on his face. He is toxic to himself. He cannot even breathe the air around his own body without filtering it. It is a terrifying image of total isolation and self-loathing.
And just to kick him one more time, we get introduced to Clovis, the lot owner.
Played by Tom Quiche. Now, Clovis isn't a villain, really. He's a businessman. He catches Jesse the next morning.
He finds a blue-stained kid sleeping in his RV.
And he demands money. Jesse owes him for back storage. Plus, now he owes him for the damages to the port-a-potty and the RV repairs.
And Jesse has zero cash. He begs for time. He plays the pity card again.
But Clovis does what his parents did. He evicts him. He says, get your junk and get out.
Which forces Jesse's hand. The only action beat of this arc is Jesse breaking back in.
He realizes he has nothing to lose. He breaks the gate, starts the RV, and crashes it through the fence to escape.
It is a violent, desperate escape. He is running, but he has nowhere to go. He is just moving for the sake of moving.
That is the end of part one. Jesse is on the run smelling terrible with a damaged RV and no money. It is rock bottom.
So while Jesse is literally covered in waste and running for his life, let's pivot to the other side of town, the White family dynamic.
Where things are cleaner, but arguably just as toxic.
Walt is performing. That is the only word for it. He is fresh off the fugue state lie. He's trying to sell the idea that everything is fine.
Right. We start with a meeting at a gas station paralleling where Jesse's bike gets stolen, actually. Walt meets Jesse early on. He gives Jesse $600.
Which is nothing compared to what they made. It's pocket change in the drug world.
True. But Walt insists he needs time to reassure his family before he can cook again. He is prioritizing the facade of the suburban dad over the business, leaving Jesse in the lurch.
Right.
This is a crucial point. Walt's decision to pause operations is the direct cause of Jesse's financial crisis. If they were cooking, Jesse would have money for a motel. Walt is sacrificing Jesse for his own domestic comfort.
And how does he reassure the family? The breakfast scene.
The fair is Breaking Bad breakfast table. Walt is making breakfast, but he is doing it cheerily.
It's creepy, right? The notes mention how unsettling it is.
It is deeply disturbing. He is too happy. He is humming, flipping pancakes. He is overcompensating. And Skyler and Walt Jr. are sitting there, and you can see it on their faces. They are thinking, who is this alien?
Yeah.
The cheerfulness highlights the artificiality of the situation. They know something is wrong. He was just missing for days, and his smile is just making it worse.
Skyler's reaction is my favorite part of this. She doesn't scream. She doesn't throw up a plate. She just leaves.
She abruptly leaves the house. She doesn't tell him where she is going. She just walks out the door. She stays away until late. Silence is her weapon.
It's effective.
It is incredibly effective. Walt is performing for an audience, and the audience just walked out of the theater. She is denying him the validation he desperately needs.
So denied his audience with Skyler, Walt turns his attention to Walt Jr. He decides to be super dad and give him a driving lesson.
He needs to feel like a father, like he is in control of something. And this scene is painful because it weaponizes Walt's need for control against his son's disability.
Let's get into the technical detail here. Walt Jr. has cerebral palsy.
Correct. And because of his CP, Walt Jr. has learned to drive using both feet to work the pedals. One for gas, one for brake. It is a necessary adaptation that allows him to have the reaction time he needs.
But Walt cannot stand it.
Walt tries to force Walt Jr. to use only the right foot. He insists on the proper way, the normal way. He is barking instructions. Right foot, use the right foot.
He is micromanaging the disability.
He is, and we have to ask why. Why does it matter? The car goes forward and stops either way.
It's about normalcy, isn't it?
Exactly. Walt wants everything to appear normal. A normal dad, a normal fugue state recovery, a normal driving son. He cannot accept the adaptation because it represents something outside of his control.
And the result?
Walt Jr. gets upset, he gets flustered by the shouting, and he hits a safety cone.
That safety cone is such a great metaphor. Walt tries to steer the family, and he literally drives them into a crash.
It connects to the bigger picture of Walt's psychology. He feels out of control in his life. Skyler is ghosting him, Tuco is a memory, but the danger is there, the cancer is there.
Yeah.
So he tries to exert absolute control over the one thing he thinks he can dominate, his son's driving technique. It is masking his own lack of control.
So we have Jesse at rock bottom in the RV and Walt failing to control his family. These two storylines have to crash into each other. And they do at Walt's house.
The intersection.
First, we have a brief moment where Skyler finally comes home. She is still stonewalling him. Walt apologizes for his recent behavior, trying to smooth it over.
He gives the I'm sorry speech, but she knows. She knows he is hiding something. The vibe is off. She storms out again.
And as Walt follows her, looking helpless, looking for a way to fix it, he spots it.
The RV. The crystal ship, parked right there on his suburban street.
Talk about a violation of sanctuary. Jesse has invaded the one place Walt tries to keep separate. It's like a monster from a nightmare showing up in your driveway.
So Walt storms out to the RV, and this confrontation is, well, it's intense.
Jesse opens the door. And remember, Jesse is running on fumes, no sleep, covered in blue waste, though cleaned up a bit, terrified.
Jesse's demand is simple. He wants his half of the money. He tells Walt, just give me my share. I am done. I'm disappearing. He wants to cash out.
That seems reasonable, honestly. Just give the kid the money.
But Walt refuses. And not only does he refuse, he launches into this verbal abuse.
I have the quote here. He calls Jesse a pathetic junkie. He says he is too stupid to follow simple instructions.
It is vicious, and it is projection. Walt is feeling pathetic and stupid because his wife hates him and he can't control his son. So he unloads all that self-hatred onto Jesse. He needs someone to look down on.
Walt claims he did all the work while Jesse did nothing.
Which is objectively false. Jesse has been the one in the trenches, but Walt rewrites history to suit his ego.
And this pushes Jesse too far.
It does. The physical fight ensues. Jesse snaps. He attacks Walt, and for a second, it looks like he might kill him. He is strangling him. He has him pinned.
But he stops.
He stops himself. He can't do it. He isn't a killer. Not like that.
And this leads to the resolution, or the lack thereof. The dynamic shifts instantly.
It's so weird. Walt brings Jesse inside, into the house.
The very house he was trying to protect.
He finally gives Jesse his half of the earnings, cash. He pays him what he owes.
And then he offers him breakfast.
We are back to breakfast, the leitmotif of the episode.
What does this mean? He beats him down, verbally assaults him, and then makes him an omelet.
It is the cycle of abuse. It is also a twisted paternal gesture. Walt sees Jesse as a tool, then a liability, then a child. Feeding him is a way to reestablish dominance and care simultaneously.
Right.
It is Walt saying, I am the provider, I provide the money, and I provide the food. It locks Jesse back into the dynamic just when he was trying to break free. It's a way of saying, you need me to survive.
It's chilling when you put it that way. It's not kindness, it's a leash.
Exactly.
While the boys are eating their feelings, we have one final thread to pull. Skyler.
Skyler's secret.
We see her at a gas station.
Again, the gas station. Everyone ends up there.
Skyler is in her car. She is pregnant. Visibly pregnant.
And she takes out a pack of cigarettes.
This is a huge transgression for her character. She is the one usually policing Walt's health. She is the one who researches cancer treatments and healthy diets.
She hesitates. She sees someone in a nearby car, a stranger, judging her. You know that look.
Oh, yeah. The bad mother look, the side eye.
Exactly. But she proceeds to light the cigarette anyway. She inhales.
What is the implication here? Is this her Breaking Bad moment in this episode?
In a way, yes. It is a self-destructive act born of stress and secrecy. She feels so out of control, so alienated by Walt's lies, that she commits the small act of rebellion.
It feels like she's saying, if you're going to destroy this family with lies, I'm going to destroy it, or at least damage it with this.
It is a rebellion that damages her and her unborn child. It shows that the toxicity of Walt's choices is now physically poisoning the next generation.
Yeah.
It is a tragic moment. It shows that Skyler isn't just a victim, she is starting to crack and make bad choices too.
Man, heavy stuff.
Worry.
So looking back at Down, how was it received? I mean, it's not the most fun episode to watch. It's basically 47 minutes of bad news.
The critics were generally impressed, but the retrospective rankings are interesting. Seth Amotin at IGN gave it an 8.9 out of 10. He specifically praised Anna Gunn's performance as Skyler.
And the AV Club.
Donna Bowman gave it a grade A-. So at the time, people saw the quality, they appreciated the acting and the mood.
But looking at later lists, when people rank all 62 episodes...
In 2019, The Ringer ranked it 53rd out of 62 episodes. Vulture ranked it 55th out of 62.
That is a big drop. Why the disparity between the initial reviews and the legacy?
I think it is because Down is a setup episode. It is moving pieces into place. It doesn't have the explosive payoff of a finale or a major death. And frankly, it is a bummer. It is 47 minutes of misery.
It's hard to rewatch.
Exactly. It isn't the one you put on to get your friends hooked on the show. But that doesn't mean it isn't brilliant. It just means it isn't fun. It does the hard work of character development that pays off later in the season.
Right. It's the vegetables, not the dessert.
Exactly. But you need the vegetables to be healthy. You can't understand Jesse's loyalty to Walt later if you don't understand how broken he was here.
So let's wrap this up with some key takeaways. If we look at the big picture of Down, what are we seeing?
We are seeing the theme of home. Jesse loses his home. Walt fails to regain the trust of his home. And Skyler damages her home, her body, the baby's home.
Everyone ends this episode alone.
Yes. Even if they are in the same room, like Walt and Jesse eating breakfast, the emotional distance is vast. They are isolated by their secrets and their trauma.
Here's a provocative final thought for you to chew on, listener. We spent a lot of time talking about Jesse's parents and Walt as a parent.
The parallel is striking.
Consider this. Jesse's mother evicts her son to protect her property and maybe her other son. She draws a hard line. She kicks him out into the cold.
It is an act of abandonment.
Walt, on the other hand, tries to control his son, literally forcing his foot onto a pedal to protect his own ego and sense of normalcy. He suffocates him.
It raises the question, who is actually the more destructive parent in this specific 47-minute window? The one who abandons the child to the street to protect the home, or the one who suffocates the child with control to protect the lie?
It's a choice between neglect and tyranny.
And neither produces a happy child.
Something to mull over. Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive. We hope you'll join us next time as we continue to unravel this incredible series.
Goodbye.
See you then.